Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe. Welcome back to SNES's Life. Tonight, right now, 85th recap episode of the games above. We got the Untouchables, Aerobiz Supersonic, Breath of Fire, Troy Aikman Football, and Double Dragon 5, The Shadow Falls. We're going to start off with the Untouchables. Based off of the early 1990s property. I think this was based off a miniseries TV show, or it might have been a movie. Honestly, I'm not sure. I remember it being a big deal. Like we had a sticker that you overlaid on your controller that never came off and was an awful idea, but we got it anyway out of some video game magazine. So had kind of some interesting concepts. The first area is a shoot. You can see it here. It's a shooting gallery, and it's not a mouse compatible game. It doesn't use a scope. It's all D-pad. So you use the shoulder L and R to walk left and right. D-pad aims your reticle, and then of course you shoot. Annoyingly, you have to reload. There's always like two pieces of cover you can hide behind. You can see right now I'm hiding behind these barrels, which then eventually blow up. And you have to shoot all these guys in the windows. In this case, I'm fighting the boss of this section, and it's a gangster in a car who will occasionally throw Molotov cocktails at you. And a single level of this is not awful. It's also timed. I should say that. Everything is freaking timed in this game. So, as a concept, this is not a bad level. But it's not just one level. Like the first mission, the first level, is 7 different scenes of this. And playing this 7 times was awful. It was not. It was entertaining for about 3 of it. And then they're like, do it 3 more times, and then do it a 7th time, and this time it's got the boss on it. And I was just like, this is garbage, and I hated it by the end of this. Which is a bummer, because hopefully we'll finish this fight in a second. You can see me reloading in the save states because of how bad things were going. Like that. One hit, I got hit by a Molotov, it insta-killed me. And then the second scenario is a really common like left to right platformer where you're collecting specific things, and you also have a gun that shoots. The problem there is, again, that one actually plays well. It was fun. That was an entertaining piece of the game, but it also has like 7 freaking levels. And so everything in this, there's 4 missions in the game, and apparently every mission is 7 freaking levels of the same thing just over and over and over again with no real like change. So like this, or I finally beat the boss. You'll see the other one, the other mission in a second. This was just, it would have been fine for a couple of scenes, and then the other one would be kind of for a couple of scenes, but they never really change it. Like it's the same exact gameplay with no different mechanics, just over and over and over again for each mission. Now the third mission I didn't get to. It's apparently like a top-down kind of run and gun, a la like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, or like I guess like the top-down scenes in Contra Alien Wars. And then the fourth mission, I can't remember what it was. And then you finally get to fight Al Capone on the rooftop, which is another version of Mission 1 where it's a gallery shooter. And I think at the very end, before I stopped streaming, I actually used a password to get to that and played it for like 3 seconds. He smoked me. I was like, I'm good enough to be done with this. I don't want to play this anymore. So the Untouchables gets a hard thumb down. Not a good game. Not worth looking up and playing. Way overstays its welcome on its mechanics. I really would like this. I didn't realize that I clipped so little here at the end. I want you to see this gameplay of the left to right here, but it's just killing me. Come on. This is why nobody pays me to do this. Because it's bad. Oh God, it restarted. Why did it restart? Well, you'll just have to take my word for it. Go and watch the stream. Next up, Aerobiz Supersonic. This is the second game. Joey and I went through Aerobiz. It's a Koei game a long, long time ago. And then this is Aerobiz Supersonic, so it's a second iteration of it. They added a bunch of new airplanes, some new scenarios. And one of the new mechanics you can see right here is you have a boardroom of people kind of telling you, like, hey, you should do X, you should do Y. And I found this game actually much more palatable than the first Aerobiz, or than a lot of Koei games, frankly. And I actually really ended up enjoying it. So Aerobiz is all about strategically buying and placing airports and setting up airlines to make money. And there's different like eras that you can go into. I think I started at like the beginning of the kind of the jet engine era, so there were like planes with jet engines, but there were still also propeller planes. And one of the scenarios, not the one I played, you actually get the Concorde supersonic jet. Yeah, I mean, these are about the most bland, boring games to explain in the world, because it's all just managing money and funds and purchasing and setting up basically routes. But it entertained me for an hour, and the time passed very quickly, and I enjoyed it. Particularly, I found the menus in this one much easier to navigate than the original. And then, of course, the boardroom, like I said, it really kind of helps guide you, like, you should do X, Y, Z first. And so I found that decent. The color was good. The animations were minimal. In fact, I think the only two animations you see there is a plane taking off once you establish a new route. And then when you get planes delivered, it shows like a tractor pushing your airplane into a hangar. So it's not like there's a lot there. You do get the airplanes flying around the map right there. It had decent music in the background just to kind of, humble you along. And yeah, I gave it a thumbs up. I think this is only the second Koei game I've ever given a thumbs up to. And that's less about it being an amazing game that everyone should try, and more about the fact that I got an hour into this and didn't have any problems with it. Like, I didn't dislike it. I lost track of that hour of time that I put into it, and was just like, wow, that was actually a pretty entertaining game. And so I gave it a thumbs up. If you want to try some kind of Koei strategy game, Aerobiz Supersonic, maybe not the worst place to start. Next up, Breath of Fire. What to say about Breath of Fire? Classic JRPG, which if you watch my stuff over the years that I've been doing it now, you know I'm not a JRPG fan. Everything looked decent. The graphics were good. The colors popped. The sprites were nice. The music was good. It was everything you expect from a JRPG in that term. It is still, of course, a menu-operated combat system. It was nice enough. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. I don't enjoy JRPGs. If you do, chances are you've already heard of Breath of Fire Legacy, because there's like 3 or 4 games, I think, in the series. And a lot of people like them. It's very well regarded. So if you like JRPGs, chances are you'll enjoy Breath of Fire. Go check it out. I'm not your guy on that one. So I thumbed down it, but that's just me. Next up, Troy Aikman football, or Troy Aikman NFL football, or NFL Troy Aikman football. It's really hard to tell from the way things were patterned on the box cover as to what the actual name was. I think it was just Troy Aikman football, but the NFL logo was like kind of in the middle there. This was a hard thumbs down for me. So it is a Madden clone, essentially. The sprites were chunkier than the last Madden I played, so the graphics aren't as good. Of course, no music. The sound was fine. It was just, the call outs and the hoot and just people smashing into each other and a crowd cheer when you got a goal. My biggest complaint with this game is I played it on Rookie, and the computer smoked me so hard. I think I threw like 13 passes and I made 1, I think, and then I threw like 9 interceptions or something stupid. Whereas the computer completed a pass every time. And I just could not get anywhere with this game. And it was very, very unfun. So if you like a challenging football game, maybe go give this a shot. I don't care for sports games as it is, let alone ones that on the easy difficulty just beat the snot out of you. So that's a thumbs down for me. No go on Troy Aikman. Again, if you want football, to me, on the Super Nintendo, we're going Super Tecmo Bowl, or oh god, I forgot the name of it. It's kind of like NFL Blitz, but I can't remember what it was called. Not NFL Blitz. But it's one where you like hit each other, and when you sacked a guy's like armor pads and stuff flew off, and the screen shook. It was very arcadey, but it was a good one. Just go with Tecmo Super Bowl. Thumbs down. And then final up is Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls. I didn't even know this game existed. When I saw this coming up on my list, I was like, oh, sweet, Double Dragon. It's hard to knock a good beat 'em up. It's a fighting game, and not a good one. Where to start? So the music's okay, I guess. The graphics are passable. I've played fighting games that look worse. I've definitely played fighting games that looked better. The controls were not great. I felt like the inputs really didn't want to work a lot on the special moves. And the difficulty was difficult, but not the hardest game I've ever played. I did end up finishing it. I did finish it on easy, mind you. But I did finish it, and I finished it with this guy right here. I didn't start with him. I think I went to him after like 3 fights in. I lost and picked this guy. And the neat thing about this game, the one laudable thing it did, to its credit, was when you pick a character, they come with 3 stats, which is like attack and defense and special. And they're all set to 3. But you can take points out of them and increase points in other ones. So I knocked my special off entirely because it was so hard to pull off the special moves. Put it all in attack and defense and beat the game that way. So it's not that it's an awful game, but I've 100% played better. Like Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 2, easily leagues better than this. And I've played other fighting games too. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I would happily play those over this as well. It's a thumbs down. If you're a big Double Dragon fan, it might be worth playing. That said, I don't know how closely this follows with the actual game canon, because this was based off of the Saturday morning cartoon in the 90s. So, it depends on where you're at on that. And I don't know anything about Double Dragon Timeline, so there you go. One thumbs up out of this set of 5 games, which was just rough. But, hey, who knows? It'll only get better, right? We're midway, a little over midway through 1994 here, and so we're picking up towards the end of the system's lifespan. I think they had games coming out in 96. But one would assume that we're going to start seeing the best of the best. 95, 96, you're getting Donkey Kong Countries and Mario RPGs and stuff. So the games have got to get better. but we'll see. Thank you guys, everybody, so much for sticking with me for these years. If you just found the channel, awesome. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And we appreciate you guys. We'll see you with some more shows later. Adios.